What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp of the Wrestling Inc. podcast and WrestlingInc.com here with a very special guest. You've seen her on Ring of Honor, TNA, NXT, all over the independent circuit. Deonna Purrazzo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. And the first thing I wanted to ask you, before we get into anything else, do you have any crazy-ass Rip Rogers stories?
Oh, you have no idea.
That is the first question that I ask anybody that I know has had anything to do with Rip Rogers.
Yeah, and, you know, I've known him for about, 3 years now, but the first time I met him in person is probably my favorite. Damien and I picked him up from LaGuardia Airport, and it was just him. We're like, do you have any bags? He's like, no, I'm good. He had his fanny pack, and that's it. And I was so excited to, shake his hand. And I was like, hi, Rip, it's so nice to meet you. I put my hand out, and he just, gave me, the stink eye and was like, so you think you're tough, huh? And walked away. And I was like, okay, I guess this is how this is going to go. So, yeah, so many crazy Rip Rogers stories.
Rip is among the most colorful people in wrestling, period. Those who don't know him are really missing out. I mean, I just know him through social media, and the man is just insanely colorful, and you've obviously been trained by him as well. What's that experience been like?
So I'm not directly trained by him, but Damien Adams, who is my trainer, is an LBW alumni, and he was there 2005 to 2008. So everything that when I started wrestling in 2012, and Damien was my head trainer, he brought everything that Rip did during developmental to our school. And I've been able to go to OVW and attend classes there and attend Rip seminars and things. So I feel like that's a big misconception. I was never trained by OVW, but I've attended more training with Rip. And it's just, he is so colorful and he is so harsh, and I thought I was going to die the first time I did an hour. And in my head, I was like, if I just die, then it's over and it's fine. I'll be okay, you know? But he's doing it to make you a better person, a better wrestler. He cares about everyone so much that's just how it comes out. It's so negative, but it's really, it's been such a positive influence on my wrestling career. So I've been so fortunate to not only have him as a trainer, but a friend too.
So what made you want to become a pro wrestler? I mean, you had to decide at an early age because you're still a young person now. Yeah,
I'm 20. I'll be 22 next month, and I knew when I was 9 I wanted to be a wrestler. And I have a twin. His name is Dominic, and all his friends, and they always came over and watched wrestling, and I've kind of always been around it my whole life. But when I was 9, I sat with him, and I saw Stone Cold hit someone with a steel chair, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And I was hooked instantly. And then I saw the women do it, and I saw Trish and Lita and Jacqueline and Victoria and, you know, all them. So I just knew that one day I wanted to try to do that.
We see the likes of Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch who talk about how they came up in a time where women's wrestling wasn't looked at as competitively as it is now, but you've wanted to do this since you were 9, so you saw that growing up too, and still chose to get into wrestling. So what is it like to see this evolution occur?
And I've actually gotten a chance to tell Bailey this too. I can still resonate with the story that they told through the NXT takeovers and the Four Horsemen, and this revolution now it's so inspiring to me, and I have nothing. I guess in part I have something to do with it, but you know, WWE's level and really stirring up news about women's wrestling. I feel so accomplished, and I feel as a woman empowered. So I'm so happy that girls that had the same dream as me got their chance to have those dreams come true, because through them and now being able to meet them and, you know, wrestle at the same level as them, my dreams have come true through them.
You've worked with NXT a few times. I know that you've worked with Asuka and Nia Jax, Emma. You were in the Battle Royal earlier this year. How did your first NXT appearance come about, and what was it like to get that call?
Yeah, it was so out of nowhere, and I feel like that's kind of like a theme in my career so far. I had no idea that I was going into 14 hours before I got on a plane. And they asked me if I could be in Orlando, and I was like, I'm there, no problem. So I had no idea if I was going to wrestle, who it would be against. Another one of my trainers is Sean Bennett, who is one of the refs down there. So I had some familiar faces and people that I knew from being a Rosebud and such. So I wasn't uncomfortable, but it was that weird anticipation of like, this is where it starts if something's going to happen for me. So it was really cool to be able to be in Full Sail with NXT.
Not only that, technically you were in a number one contenders match in that Battle Royal, and you had the experience. I mean, you worked with virtually everyone in the roster in one match. Do you think that helped getting to know all these people that maybe you haven't worked with before? Do you think that may help you down the line?
I think so, or I would like to think so. And if I get to go back and do more, I think that being able to be put in that situation as the only non-contracted person and kind of just like, it's a free-for-all. I mean, a battle royal, there's no one-on-one. You're just going after everyone. So for them to trust me enough to take care of the people that they're investing so much money in is an honor to me, and it really means so much of what they think of me. So I think it helped the talent kind of feel more comfortable with me, and going on in the future, if I'm going to wrestle any of the people that I haven't in a one-on-one competition, they can feel a little bit more comfortable.
Just over the past really 12, 13 months, wrestling has really changed, even at the main level of WWE. I mean, NXT has always kind of allowed it, but I mean, you were, I think I saw within a month span you appeared on TV for like 3 or 4 different major promotions.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have happened like 3 or 4 years ago, and you've really benefited from that because you've also appeared for Ring of Honor, you've appeared for TNA. I mean, is that like a concerted effort, like you are a conscious effort? You want to appear every place you can?
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of being a wrestler is you don't want to limit yourself. And I've been so lucky to be taught that early on. Where I worked with TNA was the first time I did the Knockouts pay-per-view with Brooke Tessmacher was my 8th match in front of a live audience. So from the early beginning, my trainers have just pushed me to make the most of every opportunity, and it's been a really great timing, I guess, because like you said, in the last 14 months, so much has changed, and we've seen so many things that we never thought would happen are happening. And I think that hopefully my experiences in working with all 3 major companies in such a short time frame can open the doors for other people to do the same. You
mentioned facing Brooke Tessmacher, Brooke Adams in your 8th match, which is unbelievable to think of. There were rumors. Is it true that she had recommended you for that spot?
Yes. Her and Robbie E at the time were dating, and Rob is another one that really helped me train from the beginning when I first started. So Rob and I are very good friends, and he's best friends with Damien. They started together in 2000, so he's been there every step of the way for me, and he and Brooke were dating at the time, so they had seen me train and seen some of my live matches, and again, it was one of those things that it was like, hey, we need a person, who do you recommend? And Rob and Brooke put their neck out for me, and that's how that came about.
I interviewed Robbie last year. He is as energetic over the phone as he is on television.
Absolutely.
He's remarkable.
Yeah.
He Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's fine. The Rob on TV is the Rob in real life. Robbie E is Rob Strauss. So that's how I tell everyone, what you see on TV is what you need to expect, even more so in person.
Now, you mentioned wrestling for TNA. We talked a little bit about that. In your 8th match, was that intimidating?
You have no idea.
I mean, like what goes through your mind when, I mean, like I said, you're very young in your career, but you've gotten to do so much. Yeah. What went through your head when somebody said, hey, yeah, you're going to be on TV? Not only that, it's going to be a pay-per-view. You're not even in your double digits of matches yet. What went through your head?
I have no idea. Like I said, it was so last minute, and I think Rob called me on like a Thursday or a Friday, and I flew down like 10 hours later. And Rob called me and was like, hey, you're doing this. Christy Hemming's going to call you. And I was like, what? He's like, answer the phone. No matter who calls you, answer the phone. It's like, okay, I guess. So then he hangs up, and Christy Hemme calls me, and they set me up to, fly down the next day. And it was just, now I'm on the phone with Christy Hemme. Like, I've watched her on Raw growing up, and now you're calling me, So it was kind of like oh, my God, I don't know what's happening. And then to be there and be around so many people that I grew up watching, the Hardys, and, Bobby Lashley's there, and I was just like, it was like a surreal moment for me, very full circle, because I grew up watching these people and I always wanted to be like them, and now I'm one of them. And I'm not even ready to be one of them. I had basic gear that I bought online at the dance store, and I had kick pads and wrestling sneakers. So I wasn't ready to be in that position, but I'm lucky that all the critiques that they gave me that day I put to use, and I gained more experience to be able to go back and wow them this time.
Also, I noticed, I've seen your matches in Ring of Honor too, and they mentioned that you wrestled in something like over 30 states last year. I mean, what's that like? I mean, you're, as I mentioned, young in your career, wrestling everywhere across this country.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. I love wrestling, and I love the traveling that I get to do and all the places that I get to see and the people I meet. But at the same time, I have no life outside of wrestling. So I'm so young, and I turned 21 last year, and I didn't go out for my birthday. I wrestled, and I don't go out now with my friends. So I really have been able to focus so much on wrestling, and I think that's benefited me, just dropping everything and doing it now. And I've garnered the experiences that I've had because of that. So traveling has just become second nature to me. Damien comes everywhere with me, and when Rob can be on the show with us, the three of us travel together. And we just make fun out of it. The drives aren't great, but if you can have fun and you're with people that you really care about and you have fun with, then it just makes it all that much better.
You've done the several matches for Ring of Honor. Do you see them expanding their women's division? Have they mentioned anything to you about possibly putting that on television as opposed to YouTube?
I have no idea where the direction is going with it. I just know that Delirious is really pushing for us. There's a lot of people in production and in the office and things that are really want to make this worthwhile. So I'm not sure in terms of TV or whatnot is to come. I know there's a DVD in the works and things like that, but they're having more Women of Honor matches, and they're bringing in women from all over. So that was the goal in doing the first match between Mandy and I, was to really set a platform and impress Sinclair Broadcasting, and we were good enough at our job to be able to do that. So I'm just happy that more women are getting involved, and they're making it, as big of a deal as they really are right now. They're pushing so hard, and all of us girls are too. So I'm ready to see us on TV, but I don't know.
What were your impressions? I know you haven't been around TNA like a whole lot, but your impressions on the backstage experience there compared to WWE or Ring of Honor?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just like me, but I am just so fortunate to be everywhere that I am. So, and making the connections that I'm making. So I am always in positive spirits, and I try to only associate with those people as well. So everywhere that I've been has been a high morale, at least with the circle that I'm with. I don't know really the inner workings of any of those three places. So to be able to say like one place is better than the other, I'm not in the position to do that. And I wouldn't want to do that as far as the people that I've been able to make contacts with and form relationships with. Like, everyone seems happy with where they're at or what they're doing. So.
And what kind of feedback have you gotten from these promotions individually about your performances or your experiences there?
So far, everyone is happy with my work. I think it's just, as you said, I'm so young. I'll be 22 literally next month. So I think everyone kind of realized that I'm good now, but give me time and maybe I can get better. And I think that's the biggest issue with pushing forward anywhere right now. It's just my age.
Indeed. Do you have a favorite promotion outside of WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor that you like to work?
I really enjoy working with ECWA. I won their Women's Super 8 last October, so I'm on their show every month. We do it, whether it's in Woodbury Heights, New Jersey, which is local for me, or they also run shows down in Delaware. And just the locker room is so fun. Damien's with me. The rides are easy. Like, they're always bringing in new opponents for me and new opponents that I've never faced before. So it really presents a challenge for me to get to work with someone new and get a good match out of it. So that's one company that I really look forward to every single month.
I also see that you occasionally work for Monster Factory Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Danny Cage, great trainer, great promotion out of there. What has that experience been like? Yeah,
it was. I went there for the first time for a Rick seminar, and they had him in, and he had asked Damien and I, are you going to come see me? Whatever. So we went down and we did the seminar, and we actually wrestled, Damien and I, in our exhibition match for that seminar there. So that's kind of how we got our foot in the door. And from there, Danny welcomed us with open arms and was so gracious enough to use all of the trainees that Damien has at the school and, use all of our guys on a monthly basis. So I think it really gave me a platform as well, because it's one of those high-profile companies. And Miranda and I were the only women working there consistently on a monthly basis. So we really got to test out different things and what we were training and make a new move set and make a name for ourselves there and make a name for the women's division there.
Tell me about Fluent In Perazzo.
So it actually came about with the Ferrari logo is my symbol, just modified a little bit. And I was looking up what's the Ferrari logo? What are some car mottos? How can I just use it as an anchor and go off of it? And a Ferrari doesn't have a company motto that I found, but each individual franchise can have their own. So one was Fluent In Ferrari. So I kind of just took it and, okay, you're Fluent In Perazzo. And it really took a life of its own. So I really, really like it.
Have you had any talks with any of the companies that I mentioned about possibly signing a deal with them?
A little bit with each one individually, and nothing really, I had my WWE tryout, so that's kind of a conversation in itself, and nothing's set in stone. I think, like I said earlier, my age, and I am really happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy being able to be my own free agent and work for them when they need it and do what I'm doing with them and make a platform on my own, because I think, in the last year or so, that's what they've really been looking for. A lot of the guys that are, the big stars now aren't guys that are homegrown anymore. They want people to go out and have that experience. And if you have that experience, you need to be one of the best at it, or they want you from scratch. And I'm not a super athlete, college, whatever, so I need to be really good at wrestling. So I think right now what I would like to do, if I'm not going to sign anywhere, is to go to Japan and train there and spend some time there, or be able to travel the U.S. and Canada, maybe do some stuff in Puerto Rico. I want to be the best wrestler that I can be, and right now that's my main goal.
What was that NXT tryout like for you?
I was so nervous going in, because I feel like I was in a weird position. I had wrestled for them 6 times prior to my tryout, so I didn't know, what more they wanted to see from me, and it was really hard as a wrestler, and I feel maybe this is something other wrestlers can relate to. We're so humble and we're so grateful to be in that position that we don't want to be disrespectful to anyone. We're just quiet and observing and trying to learn everything possible in front of these world-renowned trainers. So for me, they were just show us personality, and that was the hardest thing for me. The drills and rolls and, the blow-up stuff that is something that anyone mentally can get through. It was more now I have to show you who I am outside of wrestling, and that's hard for me. But I had so much fun, and I gained such a respect for the athletes that come into wrestling having no prior wrestling experience. The bodybuilders and the figure competitors and people are asked to take a flip bump with never even doing a forward roll before. So if you ask me to do a flip bump, that's easy. I can do that in my sleep. I've been doing that I train 4 days a week for 3 years. But to ask someone that just got in the ring for the first day to do a front flip and land on their back, I was like, oh my God, I would be terrified. So for them to be able to just jump right in and do what we do and try to do it as well as we do it, really I gained such a respect for them.
They brought you back for another TV taping after that. Did you see that as a good sign?
Yeah, I thought that was a really great sign, and I don't know what the future holds with them, but I just know that they've been happy with what I've been able to do, and I've been so fortunate to be able to do it. So if they want me back, then I'll be there.
You mentioned wanting to go to Japan, Puerto Rico. Are there any particular places that you would like to work? Do you have your eye on?
I would love to work with Stardom. Quite a few of my friends have been able to go and do tours, and I'm really great friends with Chelsea Green, and she just was over there. So that's one company that I would really love to work with over there.
Also, what kind of other upcoming projects or appearances do you have?
Yeah, right now, my schedule for like my independent bookings are crazy. I am trying so hard to reach this goal that I set. I have a road to 100, and I want to wrestle at least 100 matches this year. Hopefully I can exceed that. But last year I wrestled 97, so I really want to exceed my goal this year. So we just have a packed schedule, Damien and I. This coming weekend we're going to be in Pennsylvania, and next weekend we're in Delaware, and then we have a trip to Kentucky, so we'll see Rip at OVW, and we'll do OVW TV the end of June. So we're just trying to just keep our schedule up and keep training and make that 100.
What other goals do you have in your career? You mentioned the 100 matches. What other type of milestones or landmarks do you have? Because as we've mentioned time and time again, you're still very early in it.
Yeah, that's the biggest one that I really have. And I keep record of it. So I have a book that has like all of the matches that I've had, all of my opponents, where they've been, the finish, and things like that. So I really try to keep track of that. So that's just a goal for myself, is just to always know what I've done in my career. And I try to set obtainable goals. So like I said, I would love to go to Japan and maybe wrestle in Puerto Rico and maybe Mexico and things like that. But I don't want to set those, like, how do I explain it? I don't want to get that in my head and that's what I'm going to do, because if it doesn't happen, then I don't want to be upset, because I've been able to do so much. So if I don't get to do one of those things, I'm trying to stay positive and like, hey, well, look what you have done. So for right now, really that 100 and maybe a Japan tour is really what I'm pushing for.
Also, please, before we go, tell the people where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, Twitter is the best way to stay in contact with me. I'm on it at all times. You can follow me at Deonna Purrazzo, as well as I have Instagram and Facebook too, and they're both Deonna Purrazzo.
Also, guys, I highly encourage you to check out Deonna's Pro Wrestling Tees page. Lots of good stuff up there. Deonna, before we go, anything else you want to leave the fans with?
Just thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you being Fluent In Perazzo.